Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a few new, lesser known tips for Season 9 that have just come out recently. So these are tips that are due to the changes that have been released in the past couple of patches. Alright, so first up here, the first tip has to do with the new loading screen. So the new loading screen, if you're unaware, you can click on your teammates, you can click on the opponent, and you can check their champion mastery. Now this is something that can be useful, and the ways that you should be looking to use it, I'm going to explain here. So I wouldn't really pay too much attention to if the enemy or if your teammates have a high champion mastery. Reason being is because a high mastery doesn't always relate, or it doesn't always translate into skill. A high mastery could just mean that you've played a lot of games on the champion, and it's not always going to translate into skill. I would more so be paying attention to players who have low champion masteries. So if you notice they have like less than a couple thousand mastery on the champion they're playing, then this is pretty good information. So if that is one of your teammates, say you're playing AD carry and you're playing with a support who has like 1,000 mastery on their support champion, then use that information and adjust, just play accordingly in the laning phase. Like they're probably not going to be very competent on their champion, so chances are you're not going to be able to make too many aggressive plays or make any plays in the laning phase. So just set your expectations lower based on if your teammate does have a lower mastery. Also, if you notice that the enemy team has a player who's got lower mastery, then you can look to exploit that. So especially if you're playing jungle, this is where I would look to exploit that. If you do have a teammate, say like your top laner has like 1,000,000 mastery on their top lane champion and the enemy top laner has like 1,000 mastery, then you can look to camp your top laner. Chances are if you get him ahead, because he's a lot more experienced on his champion, he's probably going to very easily be able to win that matchup. So number 2 here has to do with turret plating. Now, if you're unaware, you actually don't have to get the last hit on the turret plating or even hit the tower to get gold from the turret plating. If your minions kill the turret plating and you've auto-attacked the turret recently, then you're still gonna get the gold from the turret plating. So what you can do here in the early game is that if you do notice that your minions are gonna very easily be able to have enough damage to finish off the turret plating, then don't stick around and continue to auto attack the tower. You can be using these seconds to look to get an earlier base in, and by doing that you're just going to save yourself time, save yourself a little bit of tempo in the early game there. So don't be just sticking around continuing to auto attack the tower and to get the turret plating if your minions are very easily going to be able to finish it off. So number 3 here also has to do with turret plating. So for 20 seconds after a turret plate is destroyed, the turret is going to gain bonus armor and magic resist, which is going to increase for each nearby champion. So if you have like 5 champions taking a tower at once, the tower is going to have a ton of armor, and this armor is also going to increase the lower the plates get. So the more plates that you get on the tower, the more armor the turret plating, or the more armor the turret is going to have, which is going to make it a lot harder to take. Now the turret is actually going to have no armor at all if there's only one champion attacking it. So this can be really impactful in certain situations. For example, if you're playing AD carry and you've got your support with you trying to finish off the last turret plating, it's actually going to be more beneficial for your support to leave and let the AD carry just take the tower by himself or by herself, because it's going to have no armor, as opposed to if your support was with you, they're going to cause the armor on the tower to raise up to like 100 armor, and this is just going to limit your damage to the tower. And especially if your support is not playing someone who can really do a lot of damage to towers, like most supports can't really do very much damage to towers anyways. So once you get down to low turret plating there, it's going to be actually more beneficial for your support to just leave and allow the AD carry to finish off the tower. Now of course, if your AD carry is in danger of being like killed by the enemy bot lane or in danger of a gank, then obviously do not like leave him and just go away and let him take the tower. But if you've just killed the enemy bot lane, for example, and you're on the last turret plating, then there's not a ton of reason for you to stick around and help them finish off the tower, because they're actually going to be able to finish it off faster without you. So these next few tips here have to do with Splash LP and ways that you can utilize Splash LP to give yourself an advantage. So if you're sitting at 97 to 99 LP, then playing a game on your off roll to try to splash into your promos is actually a really good idea, because this way you can get into your promos if you do win your off roll game from the Splash LP. And if you lose that off roll game, you don't really lose anything at all, because you're only going to lose 3 LP on your main, so you can still get promoted on your next win when you do play on your main. However, if you're at 97 to 99 LP and you play your next game on your main and you lose that game, it's now going to take you 2 games to get back into your promos if you're like gaining the same amount of LP that you're losing. So this is just a really good way for you to save a little bit of time. If you win your game on your off roll, then you're into promos. If you lose your game, it does not decrease the amount of games it takes for you to get your promo on your main. So this next tip here also has to do with Splash LP. Now, if you are sitting at 0 LP on your main and your other roles are much lower ranked, so for example, if your main's diamond and your other roles are like in gold or platinum, and you can play a secondary role, if you're confident in playing a secondary role, then what you can do is you can go on to one of those secondary roles to try to get some Splash LP and better your chances at avoiding demotion. If you're at 0 LP and you play a game on your main and you lose your next game, chances are you are going to get demoted. But if you end up playing a game on your off roll that's much lower ranked and you're confident and you're still confident on that role, then the chance of you winning that next game, getting some Splash LP, is going to help you avoid demotion. And I would only do this though, of course, if you are confident on your secondary role. If you're not, then there's not too much point in doing this, because it's not really going to increase the chances of you winning your next game. But this is just a good way for you to try to avoid demotion, and it's just going to save you a lot of time if you can get that Splash LP and not demote on your next game. Now, you do still have to keep in mind that you can demote from Splash LP, at least as far as I know. So that's why I said like it's only really beneficial for you to do this if your other roles are much lower ranked. So if they're just much lower ranked and you are confident on playing that off roll, then it is going to give you a better chance to win. But if your accounts are both pretty much the same rank, then there's not very much benefit at all of playing on your secondary role for that Splash LP. Now, if you don't end up demoting from Splash LP, I'm not 100% sure if you do, but from doing research on this and stuff, I've seen that you can demote from Splash LP. But if you don't, then the strategy would be even better, because you just go onto your off roll that you don't really care about too much, get your Splash LP, and then if there's no risk of demotion, then this strategy would be that much better. So this next tip here has to do with placement games, and a lot of you guys have probably already done your placement games, and I myself wish I would have known this before I did my placement games. But if you still have placement games to do, or if you're going to do some placement games on your Smurf eventually, then this tip could help you out then. So it's actually better to do your placements on your off roll first, and I've noticed this on both my Smurf and on my main. So I did my mid lane placements first on both my main and on my Smurf, and then when I went to do my secondary role placements, I was actually placed at where I ended my placements on my main roles. If I remember correctly, I was placed plat 3 at the very start for mid lane on my main, and then once I finished my placements, I got it up to plat 1, and then once I went to do like my top lane placements, I was immediately placed in plat 1. So the same thing happened on my Smurf account as well, and I'll show you here actually like a screenshot. I played the exact same amount of games on my Smurf account, but my AD carry role is a whole, like it's silver 1, my mid lane is only bronze 1, so my AD carry is like way ahead of my mid lane, and that's mainly just because I ended up doing my placement second on AD carry. So this next tip here has to do with AD carry setups for Season 9, and something that we're seeing a shift in right now in this patch is a lot of Korean pro AD carries are no longer taking sorcery as much, and they're instead taking inspiration secondary. Now the reason for this is because the sorcery tree there, or the sorcery runes that AD carries would take, being absolute focus as well as celerity, they have been nerfed quite a bit over the past few months, and they're just not as good runes anymore. The Gathering Storm there as well, in this current meta, like with games not lasting as long, isn't as effective as it was in previous metas as well. So By taking the inspiration tree there, you're gonna grab the boots, you're also gonna grab the biscuit delivery, and this tree is just great for AD carries because it allows for you to reach your mid-game spike a lot sooner. You don't have to buy the boots there. It's also really nice on a mobile AD carries as well because you do get bonus movement speed for the magical footwear, so that extra little movement speed is gonna be nice on your mobile AD carries, and the biscuits there as well, especially on like weaker early game AD carries, it is gonna help you survive your early game. So that is going to be all for this video. Definitely a little bit shorter than some of my other tip videos I've done in the past. However, I did want to keep this unique to season 9, so just new tips here for season 9 that have come out recently. If you do want to see some of my other tip videos that are more generic and are not only targeted towards this season, then I will leave some annotations up on screen here so you guys can check that out. But with that being said, hopefully this video did help you out in some way, shape, or form. If you guys did enjoy this video, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. So thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.